Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today trying to get back in the groove here, and I think we're going to start with putting down a bunch of dictionary pages, and just chat. Just got back from Vegas, where my husband likes to go. I do as well, but he likes it way more than I do. But I love it just as well. And just want to fill the whole page up with a lot of old book pages. I got an idea of what I want to do, and we'll flip through this magazine in a few, but I want to go ahead and get this down, let it be drying. And Vegas was cold, as well as it is here in North Carolina, but seemed like, I was telling my husband after we had went out last night and got a few groceries, somehow it wasn't the same there as it is here, even though same temperature, but I guess there I was walking a lot more, and it gets your heart rate up, and you know, you really don't think about it as much. I mean, you got lights, you got people, and you got so many things on your mind that you're really not thinking all the time about how cold it is. And look how that whole blob of glue just went away that fast. And plus, that's not glue, that is Mod Podge, which I talk about so much, and I always buy it by the big container, and I always buy it when I can get it for half price, which usually $30, I get it for $15. And everything I buy is always at a discount. And, well, we did have a few hiccups while we were in Vegas. And, one was like the first night we got there, which normally we get there during the day, and like we try to get there like 9 in the morning or 10 thereabouts, before noon. And this particular time we couldn't find any reasonable flights. You know, we try to get those at a discount as well, and we get our room at a discount. And so this time, the only reasonable flights were at night. And I think this one here in particular was like 5 p.m. Well, we get to the hotel, and by the time we get to the hotel, you know, we usually take this one transportation place. Well, this year they said you could no longer like pre-book it, that you just went out to the area where they pick up and you wait. So really you're not assigned anything before you go. It's like catching a cab once you get there, but it's a transportation that they provide out there, a shuttle bus. So we said, okay. And I was kind of leery about that because I thought, okay, just, you know, when you don't have nothing planned like that, you never know what time you're going to get to your hotel. So we stood out there and stood out there. Plus, we're both famished, where we took the flight, the cheapest flight we could, and you know, you don't get served any food unless you pay for it, which, you know, we always forego. We try to eat before, and you know, just plan on, you know, eating once you land. You know, we try to get by with as little as possible. And so we're kind of both famished. We're a little bit on the tired side, and so we get there, and we probably, I don't know, maybe waited 45 minutes to an hour waiting on a bus, and the crowd just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger waiting on a bus out there, and not everyone was taking the same bus we were, but we were all waiting, seems like, on the same thing, because it's like at this time, it's like 6, 7 o'clock, and we're all just waiting on anything that would take us to the Strip. So they finally show up, and we get on, and so then our driver has to take some of the other people from, you know, we're taking the shuttle, these other people taking the bus, but, you know, the two drivers are trying to decide how's the best way to get everyone to the Strip, which I'm all for that. You know, I wasn't grumbling about that, because if that were me, I would want to be shuttled to my hotel as fast as possible too, even though if that were not my bus. So, so they're like trying to decide who to take on which bus, and actually the bus people were way more, like maybe 40 people were getting on a bus that would only hold 30. So, you know, we decide, you know, whoever's left over that we would take. So they were, you know, back and forth trying to decide that. So we finally get to our hotel, and I thought, okay, well, I'm on the bus. I don't care now at this time. I'm sitting down, so I'm fine with that. And so then he decides to let us off second, because he said maybe he can take a shortcut across the Strip and hurry up and get to ours. You know, he's just trying to let everyone off as soon as possible. So, he lets us off, and we get in the hotel, and I don't know, I'm thinking maybe 7 to 8 o'clock, in that range. So we're all standing up there in line, and now we're like 30 people back, and we're standing there for like 10 minutes, and we could see that the couple in front of us was taking a really long time, and we were, you know, we're 30 in line, we're all hungry. And so I told my husband, I said, look at all the kiosks over there. Why isn't anyone using those? So we decided to get out of line. I think this time we had probably waited maybe 20 minutes. So we decided to get out of line and go to the kiosk to see what's up with that. So we get over there and get halfway through, and at the very end of it, it says, see attendant. So we said, rats, now we gotta get back in line to find an attendant. So we do that, and a lady must have seen us do that, one that was, up at the desk. I think they had to call in like reinforcements because there was only one person, so they called in 2, 3 other people. So a lady seen us do that, so she stopped automatically working the desk and came over there, and the ropes that draped the line, she broke the rope apart and said, "Y'all come on." And I'm like, there was like, I don't know, 10, 20, 10, 15 people in front of us. So she says she broke us out of line, and I know everyone just wanted to kill us. And she said, why did y'all stop using the kiosk? And we said, well, we went halfway through it, and it said, see attendant. She said, you should have broke out of line and come got me. And we're like, I don't know what to say. I mean, I just don't break in front of 20 other people and say, hey, I'm first. So she breaks us out of line and tries to use the kiosk, and it wouldn't work again. So she, was telling other people they need to go to the kiosk. And so we finally get checked in, and I'm thinking it's probably 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we finally get to our room, and it's all good at this time. So we're hungry, and we go eat, and we had a great time. But then I would say somewhere like the last night we're there. So anyway, the last night we're there, we said, okay, we're going to go downstairs and gamble some, which we had been gambling all week here and there. So we go and gamble that night, and we decide, okay, we're going to go somewhere else and gamble. So we get halfway to that place, and my husband notices that he doesn't have his book bag on his back. And I'm like, oh no, here I am panicking, because I'm thinking we had taken cash with us, and I'm thinking all of our cash is in there. I'm kind of panicking. I'm thinking, wait a minute, is my driver's license in your bag? Because one night I had told my husband to carry my wallet because it was too big in my little bag. And but anyway, I didn't even, I was into panicking so much I didn't even think to look in my bag to see what I had, what I didn't have. And so we go back to the casino to check, and no sight, of anything, no book bag, anything. I said, let's hurry back to the room to make sure we didn't leave it in the room. So we did that also. And then we really panic set in when we seen it wasn't in the room. So then I told my husband, I said, I am exhausted. I'm shaking. I'm nervous. I said, could you go back to the casino and I'll wait here? And so he went down there and came back, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes later, came back and said nowhere in sight. And but happened to, I had found my wallet in my pocketbook. We had, after we recapped and everything, I remember the night before I had told my husband, I said, let me have my wallet back because I don't want it to get lost. And thank God for that. And also the cash we had took on hand, I had also taken that, put that in my pocketbook. So, but I had one other little wallet that I had gave him. It was kind of bulky. I think it might have had $50 in it or whatever. I had gave that to him. So that was gone. Some ear pods, I think his gimbal, and I believe his glasses. And I think he had a set of pills in there. But anyway, so I told him, he came back, and I was still nervous that he didn't find us. Babe, I said, could you go back down there and look one more time? So he went and looked one more time. We didn't find it. So we turned it into lost and found. So actually that night we were having to leave. Now this was 9, 10 o'clock at night, and our flight was actually 5 a.m. the next morning. And so we would have to be leaving the hotel around 2:30. And I had gotten up probably at 12 and was packing up and what have you. And I told my husband, let's go ahead and get ready. I said, I'm kind of antsy. I can't sleep. And I just want things to go off without a hitch. And I was kind of nervous because we decided not to take the we didn't decide to take the transportation back. We couldn't take the transportation back because they said at 2:33 in the morning, no one's out there till about 3:30, and that would be cutting it way too close. So I said, okay, we're going to take a cab. And my entire life, I've never taken a cab. I've always had this thing about how cabs are, you know, back in the day, they're smelly, you know, what have you, but, you know, I've never rode a cab. So, anyway, we go out there like 2-ish to take a cab, and a super nice cab driver, and it was like one of these, updated cars, and, so we get in, super nice driver, and he's talking to us the whole time, and we're telling him how we just had the bad stroke of luck with our book bag. And, you know, we go on about that, and then he tells us about how he's getting ready to go on vacation himself. He has one more stop to make, and then he's done for the night. So it's all well and good. So we get to the airport, and the man notices my husband's bag has all these words all over it, like different places, and he says, oh, your bag even has Las Vegas on it, and it has Paris on it, where y'all stayed. And we're talking about that and blah blah blah, and my husband's, you know, getting money out to give to him. He's getting my bag out, and then you know, it's all good. We tip him, and we go in the airport. And as we're walking in the airport, my husband goes, oh my God. I said, what? He said, my bag. I said, what bag? And he said, you know, when my husband had lost his bag in the casino, we had took a bag that his shoes has come in. It was one of those cinch sacks, you know, one of those plastic cinch sacks that you get at a retail store. So, you know, they put your shoes in there at when you pay for them. And we used that as his laptop bag, because now his laptop bag was gone. You know, it was taken. So, so now we're thinking, oh my God, his laptop and his 2 jackets was in that bag. And oh my God, we was all talking. And the man drove off, and, you know, he was kind of delayed in driving off, but he drove off. And my husband started chasing the car, and I'm like, oh God, he's not going to catch up to him. I mean, he was running like OJ as fast as he could. And so anyway, he's running to catch him, and I thought I seen a car at the very, you know, way far down, maybe 100 feet down, stop. And I thought, okay, he caught him. But then I see my husband about halfway up come out from the side, and I'm like, oh God, he didn't catch him. So now I'm panicking again. Oh my God, that's his laptop. And, you know, he brought it, you know, because he has to work from home sometimes. And so now I'm panicking again. And we're thinking, oh my God, now we've had 2 things lost. So anyway, I told my husband, he said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I said, I don't know. I don't know. So we didn't get the name of the cab. We told him we didn't need a receipt. And neither one of us was paying attention to what, you know, the cab drivers, the name of the cab company. So we stopped the next cab company out there and asked the lady to help us. And we said, well, you know, we didn't know if it was your cab company or not, but could you help us track down somebody? And, here it is, what, 2 something in the morning. Oh, God, she was so kind to us, trying to help us. She put APB out on the cab company, trying to locate anyone that had just left the airport with these 2 people, to bring back their bag. And so, to no avail. And come to find out, that was not even the cab company we took. But she said if we wanted to call Paris Hotel and have them to look on surveillance and see if they could find, our picture and a picture of the cab company. So being that early in the morning, we couldn't even get anyone to pick up, which we understood. And I told my husband, he was checking in. I went over there to the door. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm going to look out there one more time." I said, he said he had one more person to pick up and that it was through for the night. I said, "I'm just going to take one more chance." I said, because he had to put their luggage in the back, he had to have seen our bag back there. So I'm going to take a chance that he came back to to give us our bag. And I kept seeing people pull up. So I kept going out there and everything while he's trying to check us in. And then we get over there to check our bags in, and we were having trouble with the scanner reading our bag. And so we kept having problems. And I looked at my husband. I said, "What else is going to go wrong?" I said, now everyone's getting checked in. Here we are kind of running late. And so finally we called an attendant over to help us check our bag in. And we get that checked in. And so here we are walking towards the escalator to go to 2nd floor to catch our flight. So as we're walking to get on the escalator, I'm getting on the escalator. I've done gone up probably 5 feet. My husband just got on. Around the side came our cab driver. Oh my God. It's just like he looked at me and I looked at him, and I'm like, for a second there, it took a minute to register, but he just looked at me. I said, "Oh my God, it's you." and here I had to, people behind me were walking up. I had to walk down past other people, and they probably think, "What's going on with this crazy woman?" And so anyway, he had came back. He said he felt so bad that he thought it was his fault. And we said, "No." I said, "We were talking. It's our fault. We were talking. We weren't paying attention." And he said, "Well, why I wasn't paying attention?" And we just, oh God, we were so happy. We were hugging each other like we were family. And we was telling each other we were so thankful. And we gave him another tip. And he looked at us like he was not worthy of another tip, but we said, "Oh, take it," because we don't know. I mean, that was a laptop with a lot of information on it. We didn't, we're thinking, what now? So anyway, we're going up and getting on, and we said, what else could happen? I said, "I just want to get home. I'm tired." So anyway, we made it home, and it was beautiful. And actually, when we took off, I could actually see the sunrise. It was beautiful. We could see the Mississippi River. And once we get home, and we land, my husband's checking his emails and everything, and he's seen that we had got like $50-some back from the hotel from an early checkout. So I said, "Oh my God." I said, "You know what? That probably makes up for what was in my wallet in your book bag." I said, "Now all we're out of is your book bag and a couple electronic items and everything." I said, "But you know what? I want to get home. I want to lay down." I said, we got to count our blessings. It could have been far worse. And, it could have been our 2 wallets and all of our money and stuff like that. So I said, things really could have been far worse. I said, we kind of got to count our blessings and know from the mistakes that we made, you know, what not to do next time. And we was recapping back, and I think my husband, you know, I was always sitting down at the game and at the table, not the table, but at the slot machine. It was always me sitting down. This one time, my husband sat down to play, and I'm pretty sure to play, he would have had to take that backpack off to, you know, because it would have been too bulky to sit down in the seat. I think that was one of the reasons why I was always sitting in the seat, and he would always sit in a chair beside me sideways because of his book bag. But when he sat in a chair, I believe that's when he probably took it off. But we're going to chuck it up as a lesson learned, and try to do better next time. But we always learn something different each time. But you know, just try to make the best of it. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and dry this off, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, so I got everything dry, and I'm not sure if I want pink, red, or whatever. I'm going to kind of smear this on, see how it goes. I think I actually had a different color in mind, but changed my mind at last minute, which that's something I do quite frequently. Let's try the pink on this side, which I think I've stamped so many other things, it's not quite as bright as it could be. I think I do want it darker around the edges. Let me go ahead and see if the red will do any better. Which it should, huh? I'm just kind of glad to get back into the groove. I've been, you know, Vegas is very beautiful, and they do have a bunch of, while I'm looking around, you know, the whole time I'm thinking, you know, it's giving me ideas. You know, they have art exhibits as well. Did not get to take in the Meow Wolf. My husband and I kinda at night, like we would crash each night. And I think I'm going to take some of this archival hickory smoke, go around the edges. I want it to have a kind of a definite border without using a marker, which I may still use a marker. And we'll just doing this very lightly. Okay, and we'll let this dry a minute. And I want to show you, I use this magazine, Bazaar, and we'll flip through it right quick, even though I've already took out my images, but I'll let you guys see right quick what's in here. There are other images in here that I really like. This issue has a ton of stuff, and I've used this. And I've used this before. I'm usually cutting out jewelry in this. And I like the models that they have a bunch of movement. They're not just, you know, standing there like this. They're like this, have movement to them. I like her image. I'm usually cutting out stuff like this also for background, and I like this here for background. I've used that before. You know, I like stuff like this. Anything for background. Stuff like this. And I still may use this. I don't know yet. And I like pages like this as well for maybe jewelry, a hat, a bag, or something of that nature. And I look for usually colorful models. And most of the time I cut the face out and, you know, put a different head on it. I might cut, you know, I might use something like this as background, just something as more visual interest. I have cut stuff like this out because of the black and white, you know, graphics on them. And, you know, I'm always cutting out frames. Like this lady's face. Sometimes I cut out bottles, use as background. I like this bust. You know, I like a good graphic picture where, you know, nothing's interrupting the picture, and then, you know, I can take the face off. Very colorful. I like this lady. You know, this lady here is very colorful, but, you know, how it takes up the whole picture. But, you know, you can always put stuff in front. But I do like this one. And I like this one. I like this lady's face for some reason. Just kind of looks like a National Geographic face. I like this image here. And I kind of did look at these because I thought, well, that's kind of like the background I'm going for, but this here is slick paper as opposed to, you know, me using my dictionary pages. I like this lady's image, you know, black and white. Love the jewelry. More jewelry. I mean, this magazine, particular magazine, this issue has about the most that I've ever seen that has the most images I would use. You know, and I'm always using the bubbles. But here's the ones that I picked out. She may be my focal. And I did want to use this jewelry. I may use these shoes. I'm thinking I might want to use one of these as a background. I may want to use the jewelry. May want to use these two. May use her. And I thought about might use her. And I may cut all these out. Don't know yet just what I want to do. I thought I would cut that out. Maybe cut the pocketbook out. And here was 2 more images that I really liked. So I'm going to cut everything out and we'll start the collage. Okay guys, here we are back. And I think I've kind of made up 90% of my mind. And still trying to figure out about the border, if it's dark enough or not. And the background still is kind of tacky, which it helps. I love this page. It's going to be nice and crispy when it's all said and done. I don't think I have enough behind her head. I think I wanted this shoe to come in at an angle. We may have to cut some off. And I believe I want this lady over here. Maybe the wrong thing to do. It's such a big image to go ahead and put all the glue on it. And I was going to cut just the pocketbook off, and once I started cutting, I really liked her image. And that's nothing new with me. I've always can change my mind. And I think I want this coming up here to kind of cover her leg. So you don't see so much of that straight line. And here's my focal. I think I'm going to go ahead and just pour the glue down on the thing so we don't tear her image. I think I want to put her kind of high up, like this lady's watching her. And I want to put, I think, another shoe up here. maybe stick one over here. I think pull it back just a hair. We'll put these little trinkets around. You kind of forget just exactly where I wanted these, but and I think I want to add this frame here somehow, just my last little focal, and it may stick on its own, kind of think of it as much glue as I have down. I really like that. Okay, might have just dumped too much. Yeah, the page will be nice and sticky now. I think I want to, where do I want to add this? Maybe right there. And I think I'm going to take a minute and let this dry off, because I think I do maybe want to make the border a little bit darker. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, so all I did was took my marker and went around the edge, made it darker. Of course, I wrote in the words. I put "There's a blossoming artist in all of us." And I went around the jewelry, added these 2 hearts, and added the bubbles from the Olay ad. And I think it turned out pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you could, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And as always, see you tomorrow.